Welcome to the Check a Pro radio show. I'm Jim Klauck, aka also known as Check a Pro Joe. And today we're going to talk about something that a lot of us have been thinking about in this part of Texas. But even if you're tuning in from anywhere in the United States, we've all had issues at some point with the power going down. And these standby generators are really a big thing today. And it's not that expensive. It used to be for like the rich, really. The rich would have for their home a generator that they could turn on. They wouldn't even come on automatically, but the power would go down and they would turn them on and it would kind of light some stuff up in the house. Today, pretty much anybody with a fuel source can have uninterrupted power. Cool hand Luke, thanks for joining me. Let's talk about this.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah. So these standby generators, they call them, are standing by, waiting for a break in the electricity because it can read, correct me if I'm wrong, it reads that there's been a power outage at your house, and within seconds, it turns on and replaces the power. Is that accurate?
Yeah. The one we do is about 15 seconds down.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
It is cool. I've heard some people didn't even know their power was off. Maybe they're taking a shower or something and the power went off during the shower and they come out and the lights are on. And the only reason why they know is because they hear maybe a humming outside, which would be the, motorized generator. Now, these generators work off of natural gas or propane for the most part, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Which means as long as you have a gas connection, and by the way, the gas usually doesn't go down. It's usually the power, right? The power is what generally goes down. Gas usually is flowing. We've had in Texas the power grid go down before, and a lot of us were without power for some time. We have storms all the time in this area that will take out power. And who knows, maybe the Russians take out the power, right? I mean, we keep hearing about the fact that it wouldn't take much for us to lose the grid again. If so, this can be a lifesaver, can it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so we can talk about convenience first. So why would you want one? If you have a pool, if you have a freeze that your water is not circulating, and then you're going to have pipes crack, and that's going to cause damage to your pool lining and the slab that's around it. Huge hassle for the next 3-4 months of having that all rebuilt and the pool relined. So if you have a pool, it's a really great thing to have a generator to keep that water circulating. So that's a convenience thing. Also, if you have big dogs, okay, let's say you're healthy, you're able to get to some place that has power, maybe a local church or something, some sort of place that has generators. Who's going to take those big dogs in, right? If you have big pets, you don't want to leave them at the house. And we have a lot of customers that really got it because of their pets. It would be hard to rehome them or put them in a temporary place because they don't have power. So that's something to consider. So that's a convenience thing. Then obviously convenience would be with having your refrigerator and your lights and those type of things, tablets, TVs. But then you're saying health, there's a lot of folks that have heart issues, medicine that has to stay a certain temperature. If it's summertime and you lose power, it gets ridiculously hot. And I know a lot of the elderly folks, my parents, for instance, if it's too hot, they can have some real, strokes and different other issues because they have heart issues. So, you want to keep the temperature comfortable, and high amount of stress, either a lot of cold or heat, can cause a lot of health issues. But then your medicine as well, insulin, that's supposed to stay at a good temperature. If it's something you can swing, generators are the way to go. I mean, there's different options on generators too. You can have, like you're talking about, like a rollout generator, and we can tie that into the breaker panel to where it doesn't pull. It's not going to pull your whole house, but your fridge, or your freezer in your garage to keep that stuff nice and cold. If you hunt, a lot of people have thousands of dollars worth of meat in their freezers. So that's something to consider. But you can do the rollout generator and have some of your convenience stuff going. That can plug into your breaker panel, or you can have the standby one, which is becoming very popular, and that actually mounts to a pad similar to like an AC unit. So it's very heavy. No one's going to steal it, and then it's piped into the meter base with what's called an automatic transfer switch, and so that's going to detect if the power from the power company turns off. It's going to turn on the generator, and then once it sees the generator is actually generating the proper amount of power, it's going to turn power to the house. And that's the one that's 10 to 15 seconds, and you got your power back on while your neighbors are dark and wondering what's going on. It's a pretty cool feeling. Um, those are really, really great options. If you can swing it, it's definitely worth having.
I see more and more of these standby generators. There's, big brands like Generac is one. Okay. So you see them all over the place. Briggs and Stratton has one. I mean, there's Kohler, there's a lot of these brands. And I'll tell you when you really notice them, Luke, is when you're in a neighborhood and the power's gone out and you hear all of these generators on. And you're like,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know my neighbor had one, but apparently they do. And they're cool in their house. Their lights are on. They might even be able to be using their internet where other people can't because their Wi-Fi is now working. The freezer's working. Everything's working. If they have electric water heaters, that's not a problem, is it?
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's it's nice. There is that upfront investment, but I think it's a wise investment. And I would also imagine when you sell the home, it's a great asset because I know if I was looking at a home and someone had installed one of these 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'd be like, great, now I don't have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very minimal upkeep. Once a year, oil change, spark plugs, air filter, that kind of stuff. Very minimal upkeep. And so you don't really have to worry about that much. And it's especially people are working from the house a lot now, especially after COVID, right? People,
Mhm.
they started working from the house.
You're right.
If you don't have power or internet at your house, what are you going to do? So that's a huge benefit. And it is becoming very popular because a lot more electricians. For a while, electricians didn't really were kind of scared of it because it was more complicated, and you do have to coordinate with a plumber or a propane dealer to really be able to do the project well. You got to know how to size that. Electricians are afraid of that, so we kind of avoided. You also have to coordinate with the utility company, and so most electricians don't like any extra hassle on that. So it took a little bit for electricians to really start learning about it and how to do it in a way that they could, be profitable and stay in business. And because it takes some coordination and a good staff, but it's an awesome. It's becoming very popular because it's a great need, and it's nice to have. Obviously, you want it run on a generator at all times, but when you lose power, it's great to have that and not have to worry. There's if you work from the house, if you got big pets, if you got pool, it's or older people living in your house, it's a great investment. And like you said, if you sell the house,
Yeah.
that's going to be a huge plus.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially having your own energy plant. It really is. It's self-sufficiency. You just have to feed it the fuel. And if you have natural gas, that's the best because that just never runs out. So if you have a long power outage, you don't have to worry about the propane tank running low. It'll just come, 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 come. But if you're in an area, often rural, propane, not a problem. Um, two different configurations, but easy to do, right?
Yep. Yeah. The ones we have, there's ways to set it up to where it can run on either. So it's totally worthwhile. And some people, I know a lot of people that are, what's the term where you think the whole world's going to go down and you store.
Armageddon.
Yeah, those type of guys. They like propane because they're worried that
Yes, that the gas
you know,
won't be there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, if your tank is big enough and it'll last you for a long time. And
Yeah.
propane runs at a different temperature, so it can handle. Propane's great. They both work out. some people don't like the tank. So if they're like, hey, I don't have a place to put this tank, because there's different regulations. You can't have it, 10 foot from a fence or a
Mhm.
building and that kind of stuff. So they may not want that tank visible. You can even bury those. So people will just bury the propane tank and they don't have to worry about it then. So those are things to consider.
Absolutely. You can pretty much do anything. Luke, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.